High Water is directed by David Mackenzie and starred Chris Pine, Ben Foster, and Jeff Bridges, and is about two brothers who are robbing banks and come up with a scheme to try to pay off their reverse mortgage after they find out that their mother passed away. Pretty much how I expected. You have two brothers who are on the run and who are bank robbers who are trying to come up with a scheme. At the same time, you have Jeff Bridges, who plays this sheriff who's going after them and who's trying to come up with a way to stop them from taking down these robberies. And I gotta admit, I wasn't really expecting much of this movie, and it really blew my expectations away. Like, I really love this film a lot. This has really wonderful performances by Chris Pine and Ben Foster, and it is your typical story where it's your run-of-the-mill kind of bank robbery story, but it has a lot of emotion to it and a lot of comedy in it too, because the script, it's in a way, it kind of reminds me of like a more funnier version of, like a satirical version of No Country for Old Men, where you have, in that story too, you also have the sheriff going through everything, trying to put the pieces together and go after these criminals. And while those are pretty much the similarities they end there, you can kind of tell this film was kind of inspired by what the Coen brothers usually do, because the dialogue they have in this film is pretty catchy. Like, it kind of makes you wonder if maybe they did some uncredited rewrites for this movie or something. But I really do love this movie a lot. Like, it has outstanding performances, especially from Chris Pine. I think this is probably his best role that I've seen him in and up to date. You know, I've always liked the guy as an actor, you know, especially since he's played Captain Kirk from Star Trek and some other roles he's been in. But this one, he's a lot more reserved, and this time you can really get into a lot of the emotion that he goes through with trying to just look out for his brother, because his brother, played by Ben Foster, is the more crazy one, because his brother is an ex-convict. So I really got into their chemistry a lot, and a lot of their banter did work for me in a lot of scenes, because a lot of times it's just them two giving each other shit in some parts, and then they're actually, you know, trying to come up with ways to plan things out without having to get caught. And I also enjoyed Jeff Bridges too. I thought, up to date, this is one of my favorite Jeff Bridges performances, because yeah, he is kind of playing he's basically a modern day Rooster Cockburn from the remake of True Grit. And yeah, you can tell that his voice is pretty much the same as it has been since that movie. But I still got into his character, and I really got into his way of trying to catch these guys. And I really enjoyed his on-screen chemistry of him and his partner, Alberto. But I forgot the actor's name, but him are always giving each other shit all the time, and it made me smile a lot and made me crack up quite a bit. And what I also enjoy too is the soundtrack's pretty good too. Like, the band that did this, the music by this was by Nick Cave, who, if you remember, was the guy who brought us the music from Scream. He did the Red Right Hand song. And I thought that the music they play in this film really captures the mood, and it really feels kind of like a modern Western to it. And the direction they go with them robbing the banks and stuff, it is pretty clever how these guys are able to just go in there, even though they're aware that they're going to get caught, but they just do it because, you know, they're trying to pay off their debt. And this movie does have a lot of brutal like, violence in it, too. Like, I mean, most of the action doesn't really come into the later half, because about the first half, you're really just seeing a lot of just them robbing the banks and just them having to spend their money and stuff. But when it goes down with them doing the shootouts and stuff like it shows in the trailer, it really gets intense. And the film really held my attention, and this is a near perfect film for me. I can't really think of any flaws with it, and it is definitely one of the best movies of the year. So with that being said, I'm going to give the movie a 9.75 out of 10. What did you guys think of Hell or High Water? Comment below, and if you guys like what you see here, you can check me out on YouTube, and I'll be having more reviews coming up here soon. I'll see you guys later.